Hey guys, it's Taylor with GammaEdge here with quick market status for Thursday, April 27th. Here's our general disclaimer. Give this a read when you're done so. Let's move on. Here, looking at the tick US model, saw large filter tick selling into the close yesterday, starting in afternoon. New lows outpaced new highs. Longer term moving average have been fully inverted, trending lower, and cumulative tick is trending lower in the context of railroad tracks lower. So net bearish model right now. Tick ARCX model, same thing. Cumulative tick, a very steep progression lower the last 2 days. Railroad tracks lower. Long-term moving average ribbon, while it's not inverted yet, it's likely to get there today. So mentally, I've kind of written that already. It's being inverted. Long-term signal still is turned on, but like I said, it's going to be hard not for that not to shut off today. All short-term signals are turned off as well. So net bearish day. One thing I do want to say is last couple of weeks, how we were saying the cumulative tick was getting a bit extended to the upside against the longer term moving average. We're now have the same case to the downside. So I'm not super eager to be shorting the whole here. Just need to see how price interacts. Would not be surprised to see some kind of reflexive, I guess, bear bounce, you will. But nonetheless, price action is price action. So if it tells me we're going lower, then I will still press to the downside. But obviously, the setup today is not as good as it was a few days ago. Hitting on our SPY, SPX, QQQ, IWN, the indices. This with our 10 a.m. gamma scripts. Really not a ton to say here. One thing I did note in the room was a counter trend trade we did have in the morning using our levels is with QQQs. I just wanted to show an example of how you paired, technical, if you believe in technical analysis. I mean, it's really just human emotion on a chart, right? So TA with gamma levels here, you saw we had a kind of a big volatile move early in the session. We did get a contraction of volatility here right under the what is that, the P-trans level. We did got a breakout continuation higher, so that was a great spot to manage your risk against either P-trans or zero gex. Got a nice move higher, and from there it's depending on your system on where you get out of the trade, just because we did not have any levels overhead per se for targets, so up to you. And again, it was in the context of a counter trade move, but nonetheless, really IWM wasn't a ton to do, SPX not a ton to do, and SPY. One thing I will say is we really didn't get any large buying on the tick models early in the session. We were getting these up moves, so that was kind of telling us, okay, not super convinced in this move. Using zero gex as a reference point, you could have waited, for a shift in trend lower, playing a move to COTMP or something like that, especially on SPS as well. Your system, identifying those intraday trend shifts. So something to keep in mind. There were certainly trades to do, but there weren't, those beautiful, perfect textbook level to level moves. But we don't get those every day. So looking at Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Nvidia. Again, same thing. Apple actually got some selling action here at P-trans. So, stalling here, cumulative tick lower. You start to see the shift in trend. Could have potentially played something lower. Tesla, not a ton to say, pretty choppy. Microsoft, choppy. And Nvidia, kind of same thing, just meandered right around this P-trans level. So certainly it was two-way action yesterday, depending on how you express that view. Even if you did particular market, was up to you. One thing I did want to note was we actually did get a fairly decent zero gex to P-trans move here. This is AMD. You can see we had quite the volatile move early in the session. However, we did get some consolidation right around these zero gex. Could have played that up to P-trans. I think that was like a percent move on this instrument. So pretty nice intraday move there. And then we got stalling here at P-trans and then progression lower. So one thing I will say, it's important just to note interactions around these levels. This stalling around P-trans and then move lower back down to zero gex. That is a very common move. Not just as common as zero gex to P-trans. So that's something to keep in mind, especially in the context of a downtrending tick market until its bias is lower. So looking for those kind of opportunities is warranted, in my opinion. So now looking at the indices with our 5 p.m. tick. Really, I'm not going to have a ton to say here. We're just in the middle of no man's land. Just see the gap between our key levels up top, key levels below. So really not a ton to say here in the terms of price interacting with levels per se, just in the middle of no man's land, given the move we've had the last couple of days. Reset is warranted. So, if you're making money Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no shame sitting out Thursday, even Friday, to kind of let the structure reset and trades develop again. Now looking at Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Nvidia. Again, we have Apple right at P-Trans. It's gonna be interesting to see how price opens up there at the open. If we get some kind of consolidation, then a move kind of set up pattern to the downside again, or if we do get some kind of move to the upside. Really, that's the only stock on watch for me. Really, just looking at where we are interacting with these levels. Maybe Tesla gets a push down to negative trans and some kind of move higher. Just have to watch there, and then Nvidia right between P-Trans and plus Gex. So, depending on how we open, get a move lower or move higher, see how it interacts with those key levels below and above, potentially a trade there. So, with that, best of luck today. See you all in the room, and yeah, talk to you in a little bit. Bye.